How's it going, everyone? Eric here, coming to you live, well, not live exactly, this is pre-recorded, but coming to you from my apartment. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I don't have a normal Out of the Groove episode planned, but this is something I kind of wanted to do for a while. I get asked a lot of times, you know, kind of what the process for making, not just Out of the Groove, but just making YouTube videos in general is. I get asked sometimes what equipment I use for videos, and so today I kind of wanted to just take a behind-the-scenes look at basically my setup I have here. You know, I'm a student in college. Making videos is really, other than being a student, making videos is kind of my only other job right now, and it's really fun and it's really awesome. It takes up a lot of my time, so I kind of have basically my college setup here that I want to show you guys, but I figured I'd take you guys on kind of a behind the scenes look here today, show you my setup, go a little more in depth, and show you some of the stuff I use to make videos on a weekly basis. So let's check it out. Now, I've taken you guys in here before, but this is basically the room that doubles, you know, as my studio. This is the main backdrop you'll see on Out of the Groove every day, and then of course this is also where I sleep. So, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, you can't relax in the same place that you work. Well, I really don't have a choice. That's not really the important stuff. Focusing over here on the main Out of the Groove backdrop. This is what you probably are used to seeing whenever I post videos these days. Firstly, of course, got some die-cast cars here. These are all from 2018. I'll have to get some new ones for this year. And then, of course, I got a bunch of hats y'all see me wear a lot. I like to wear hats. I collect hats, basically. I like hats, in a nutshell. Under this cover here is my microphone that I actually got recently. I don't have a fancy case for it, but this is a Blue Yeti microphone. Pretty standard, pretty typical podcast, streaming, gaming microphone, all that type of stuff. I use this also sometimes for like voiceover things. I haven't done much of those lately, but that's mainly what I use this for. I've had it for a couple months now. It's pretty solid, and I think you can get them for about $100 usually, maybe less even now, I don't know. But it's pretty cool. Since I did say I was gonna be talking about equipment I use, I do not use that microphone for Out of the Groove. I use that only for streaming and for like podcasts and stuff. Above that, got my Mickey, got some die-cast cars, old Busch Series Dale Jr., old Terry Labonte, a couple Texas Wind die-casts, Matt Kenseth from 2011, Kyle Busch from 2016, some other decor that I've just gotten over the years I like to dress up the scene with. Right here, of course, got a Kurt Busch bobblehead, kind of random Matt Kenseth card that actually one of y'all just sent me recently. I showed that off. I got this lamp here. My sister actually got this for me for like $3 at, I don't know, like Goodwill or something, and I thought it was cool. There's not even a light bulb in it. You can see there's nothing even down there. It's just a lamp, but it's cool for show, I guess. Over here, of course, I have the main centerpiece of my room. This is kind of like, ta-da, the main attraction. As y'all can clearly tell, I'm a Matt Kenseth fan. Part of the reason why the Out of the Groove logo is yellow and black is to match a lot of the Matt Kenseth stuff I have. So that's what I got here. 2017 DeWalt car signed by Matt Kenseth. 2017, his final win die-cast from Phoenix. Got that also. And then a 2003 championship car signed by not just Matt Kenseth, but also by Jack Roush. Really, really cool. And then, of course, the main Out of the Groove display. I ordered this off of, I don't even remember, just some generic printing site, poster boards to use for the show. And yeah, that's mainly it. If you look over here, I got like, you know, some more die casts. You know, Matt Kenseth final ride, Dale Jr. final ride, a couple other fun throwback schemes and all that up here. More of the same. I like Disney stuff too, so I got some old Disney Infinity figures, all that type of stuff, and that's mainly it. And that's mainly all you got to see back here. Gonna talk more about equipment stuff here. The camera I'm using right now actually is a pretty new camera I got. It's mainly gonna be for like vlogging and stuff, especially if I go to some races this year, which I'm planning to do. It's a Canon G7X Mark II, kind of another pretty standard one. I've only used it like a couple times now, but it seems pretty solid. And this camera right here, this is the one I use for Out of the Groove, and really for everything I've done basically since 2015. Stop motions, any video, this is what I use. It's a Canon XA20. I've had it for a few years now. It's solid. You're basically just a typical camcorder, but it's pretty nice, pretty good. I also have this microphone right here. It's a shotgun mic, a Sennheiser. You can see an MKE 400. Very solid, one of the top, you know, like consumer end shotgun microphones out there. I highly recommend. I don't have the windsock on it right now. I lost that recently, but I haven't taken this thing outside, so yeah, it works fine indoors, but I'd probably need to get a windsock again for that thing. I know for a fact that they have newer versions of this camera, like an XA25. I even think they might have an XA30. I don't know. I can recommend this camera if you're just looking for a typical camcorder. It works really well for just doing Out of the Groove and things like this in a studio setting. Not sure if I'd recommend it for a lot of other things though, but it's solid. It's a good camera. It's worked well for me for a few years now. The tripod it's on right now, it's a Manfrotto brand. I don't know what it is. You can read it on what model it is, but it's just your typical, you know, I don't know, it's probably cost like $60. This thing's a few years old as well. I do really like it though because you can like move the legs around really easily. It's flimsy, like it's obviously not the sturdiest thing in the world compared to another tripod, but I like that. It's very portable, very easy to transport, and you can kind of just bend it. It can turn to a monopod if you want, basically, just like that. So it works in a lot of different ways, so I do like this. And then this right here is my big light. Yeah, this umbrella is like all bent up, really looks It's in really bad shape. This thing is several years old. I've had it for a long time, but it's the only light I really have in here. The only other light I use to like light myself is the terrible like indoor ceiling light they have here. So I'd like to get another nice light so that Out of the Groove looks better. But that's all I got. That's all I can really fit in here with my little space. Moving over here to my desk. This is the monitor I use. This is my computer. This is my whole setup for editing. This is where I am for the podcast. This is where I am for streaming. You can see I got my PS4 over there off to the side that I use. I got a bunch of webcams up here. You see I got the PS4 camera I use, as well as a what is this? A Logitech C920 webcam that I use as well. That's also pretty new. I've only gotten that recently. I use that for the weekly podcast, and whenever else I occasionally might need it. A lot of people also ask me questions like, what editing software do you use? I use Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop for pretty much everything I do, so I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like. So this is basically what an Out of the Groove Premiere project looks like for me. I got like, what is this, about 11 minutes of video, just video track after video track. Occasionally I'll stack things on top of each other, for like, quotes and things like that. That's basically what it looks like. Got the intro, got all my sorts of video files. This is where I sit for hours and hours a week listening to myself repeat all the things I just recorded myself saying. So look at me, this is me between takes. I'm just like, God, what am I doing with my life? You know how like when you hear a recording of yourself for the first time, it's kind of weird. You're like, man, do I really sound like that? At this point, I've listened to myself talk for so many hours that, I don't notice the difference anymore. It's kind of crazy, honestly. But yeah, more or less, this is where the magic all happens. I sit here, got my Mickey and my Steamboat Willie Mickey over here with Out of the Groove car to keep me company. I got a nice view out the side here through these blinds. You can see North Austin. I don't know, you can over all that stuff out there. It's pretty nice, pretty fun setup. This is where it all happens. This is where Out of the Groove gets made week in, week out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little look behind the scenes. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you've watched my videos for a long time, maybe you found that kind of interesting, I don't know. But yeah, this is just kind of a look at how Out of the Groove has been being made for at least the last several months. It's been a lot of fun, and I really couldn't do all this without all the support from you guys watching. So thanks for watching this behind the scenes look of more Out of the Groove episodes, scheduled as normal, starting next week. Thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.